So it's time for a full review of the LG G3. Hey guys, welcome back to my full review of the LG G3. This device launched last year, mid-June. It was announced in May and it released in June on a lot of carriers. Some carriers it released a little later, but it did come out in the later part of 2014. And at the time, I wasn't really excited about it. I liked the design, but as you know, I was using like the Flex back then, and I had all these other phones, and I don't know. It was the 2K screen. It has everything a person could possibly want as far as a spec war, but something about it didn't really jump out to me until now. So I'm going to go ahead and go over this in my full review of the LG G3. So let's start with the specs, like we always do in these full reviews. Get the techie stuff out of the way, and then we'll get down to the real world test. Well, the real world talks about how I feel about the device as a day-to-day device to use. Now, this is, when you first look at this, you definitely see the 5.5-inch QHD display, which is ridiculous at 1440 by 2560, which gets about 538 pixels per inch. Now, that is just ridiculous because this phone is really small. It's a very compact phone, but it's got a beautiful screen. And the reason they're able to do that, obviously, because there's no buttons on the side or anything. All the buttons are on the back, and I'll get into that in just a second. But it measures in at 8.9 millimeters in thickness, and it weighs about 49 grams. It's got an IPS display, and it's Corning Gorilla Glass 3, has a 801 Snapdragon. It's supposed to be updated to 5.0. If you already have 5.0, shout out in the comments. Let me know how you got it, or did it come to an OTA, or what is it like? Is it better? Does it run smoother? Whichever. It has a quad-core processor clocked at 2.5 gigahertz. The Adreno 330 is for the graphics. It does take an SD card because it has a removable back. This is the T-Mobile variant, so I actually have 32 gigs with 3 gigs of RAM, which is super nice. The 13 megapixel camera on the back has this laser right here for focusing, and it is just beyond any other camera. It has an advantage. Now, it's not the best camera, but it does take great photos. I mean, it is sick with it. It's really nice. And it records in 4K. Now, 4K is overkill, and a lot of times, and people don't really use 4K. But I might start doing some 4K videos up on my channel. I do have samples up and a couple of 4K videos, but the files are really big, and it takes a long time to get them uploaded. So nonetheless, it has a 2.1 on the front, which also shoots in 1080p. Now, the rear shoots in 4K 1080p, obviously, and it has HDR, optical image stabilization, I believe. Does it have OIS? Yeah, it does have it. And HDR and stereo sound with recording. And I've got a sample of the recording of a video in this video. You'll see it at the end, or towards the end there. But it has removable battery at 3000 milliamps, and it's really nice. It has dual band Wi-Fi, which is something that I feel is a must on smartphones and tablets today, because most of us have a 5 gigahertz band at home. So it does have wireless charging, but I don't believe the T-Mobile version has the wireless charging. But that's not something I would use anyway, but it is something that can come on a variant of the LG G3. So techie stuff aside, one last thing, it comes in this metallic black, a silky white, and they have a shiny gold and like a burgundy color, a red, a blue steel, all these colors, but T-Mobile only has the white and the black, or gray, if whatever you want to call it. So as you can see there, this is this like silky white type pattern on here. It's really, really nice. I'll pop the back off here so you can see the innards. You can see here you've got an SD card goes on top here, and your SIM card is on the bottom. And that's pretty much it for the innards. There's really not much to see there. Back snaps on. The back is, flimsy because it's off of the phone, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty nice. So the screen is 512 38 pixels per inch. I mean, that is just a sharp display, but in all reality, you really can't tell the difference. It's just like, I mean, you can tell the difference as far as the sharpness and the quality in some things, but it's not something that you can see every time you're looking at this phone. You're just going to see a regular display. And, you know, that's fine with me. You know, I didn't buy it just solely for the highest pixel density, or one of the highest pixel densities on the phone, but that is a perk to having this device. But it has a 5.5-inch display, and it's very compact. So it is really, really compact, and it's amazing how this is the same size screen as my iPhone 6 Plus, but the iPhone 6 Plus is a lot bigger than this and a lot heavier too, and it doesn't have as high resolution either. So the screen is beautiful. I think you'll enjoy it for watching movies and playing games and things like that. Taking a look around the body, it has like this metal band that kind of goes around the entire device. And it makes the white look really sexy. I thought about getting the black or the metallic black. I just felt like the white looked a lot more premium, and this is all my view on it. But I like the black, but I just felt like I wanted a white one, because the white one I could see the details on the device. It has like this metal band that goes around, and then it's like this silky. This is a smooth feeling to the touch, but it's like a silky. It's like a diamond white color, almost diamond white. The body of this is very slick, and I definitely will recommend either a D brand or, you know, something to give it some grip. I personally have a suitcase for it, but, you know, if you're not really clumsy with your phones, you don't have to have a case on it, but something just to give it some grip. It is a little bit slippery, like most devices today are slippery. The body on this thing is beautiful, though. It houses the 13 megapixel on the back with the power and volume, and the dual tone LED with the laser up top there. The volume rocker now has grip to it, like a texture, not grip, but like a texture to it, and the power button is raised. So if you've never dealt with this phone before, or any other LG device, that was one of my biggest complaints on the G Flex. Sometimes I just couldn't take a screenshot because you have to hold power and down, and to do it, you know, this phone is proven to be a lot simpler. It's easier because they raised the power button and gave texture to the up and down for the volume. Speakers right here, it is a pretty loud speaker, and I'll demo that next here. But the body on this feels really good. You've got your IR blaster and another microphone up top, and a microphone and sync and charging port down below with the headphone jack on the bottom. Now granted, I do use wireless headsets. I'm still rocking my Bluetooth, and this thing works with everything. But when I do plug in, I use the headset that came from the Fire Phone. It's a nice little headset. But in any event, the headphone jack is on the bottom, and I think it should be like that for all cell phones, because I think people put their phone in their pocket like this, and you know, you want the cable to come out. When you put it on the top, you're pulling it out and you have to flip it around to do things with it. But nonetheless, that's just a personal option there, I think. But I think most people would agree they would like to have their headphone jack on the bottom. On the front here, it's nothing down here, and I like this. They just have a little LG logo, which is perfectly fine with me. It's real subtle on the white version. On the black version, you can probably hardly tell, but on the white version, it looks really good too. But just logos for T-Mobile and LG on the back, and it's really, really great design on this device. I mean, the device itself feels really good. It's plastic on the back here, but it looks way more premium than when I notice it in the store. After getting it to my house, it's always different. Every device is, but holding it in the hand is really nice. So sound quality, I'm gonna do the same little test that I always do, because YouTube is so finicky about what you can play on YouTube. So I'll test the speaker at max volume, just playing my one of my demo, or one of my uploads, I'll say here. It's fine. Gotta find that intro video because it has complete sound. It sounds really good. This speaker is definitely not like what I thought it would be. So let's take a listen. I'm gonna lay it flat. So that's a demo of the sound and what it sounds like. Now I'm going to play a video that actually has some me talking on it. And let's just grab this one right here.
Like, you have to be a master to tell a story like that.
My movie's gonna kick that movie's movie.
Let's play this video.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So as you can see here, I have the Defender Series OtterBox for the Moto X 2014. And the reason I got this is because I was curious how it would be on the device, and I wanted something for heavy duty protection. And there's none other than OtterBox and then Speedman Armor, which I also buy those from time to time as well. And another thing is I haven't seen any videos on this particular product.
So you get kind of a sense on how the sound is when it's pumped up really high like that. It is actually really, really nice and clear. Now, how it comes across on video, that depends on what kind of sound system you have on your computer. Obviously, I have a great surround sound on my computer, so the sound is really good. Cameras, I'm going to cut right here, and I'm going to show you a video sample in 1080p of this rear camera, and it records really, really well. Let's take a look at that real quick. Alright guys, this is a video sample. This is 1080p on the LG G3. This device does record in 4K, but I just decided to do a 1080p. As you can see there, I can get up to 7.3 on the zoom. You can manually focus. So a good zoom on there. This is a really good camera. Takes great pictures, I have to say. It is just, it's amazing. The laser focus is really nice on here too. Good sound quality, and the camera, it records really, really well. So instead of just talking about it, let's get into the settings here. So here's the camera, and I'll go ahead and flip around to the front camera real quick. The front camera is really, really clear. It does really well. Let's get into the settings here. And so you can see here the options that you have for video. You have 720p, 1080p, 4K, and you also have 120 frames per second slow motion, which is really, really nice. I really enjoy that. And then as far as your camera, you can go down to 3 megapixels, 9, 10, and then 13. And I think that's nice. Has auto HDR. You can also, like most phones, you can do the voice capture like this. I think that's pretty nice. You can do the smile, cheese, and all that. I don't particularly use that, but it is an option that you have, and it's a nice thing to have just in case, you know, you are somewhere and you have your phone on a stand or something like that, and you just want to take a picture with a bunch of people. Just, there's a number of reasons you can use that. You've got your timer. You can also have the grid down as well. So modes, you've got auto, magic focus, panorama, and dual shot. Dual shot is really nice too. So that is the settings. I wasn't trying to take a photo, but you can take one, that's fine. Just turn off the timer. But the photos themselves, let's grab something with some color here. The photos themselves come out really, really nice. Very, very sharp photos. I mean, it really picks up the detail, as you can see there. It's a really, this camera is one of the best I've used. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but it is at the top of the list, man. This camera is really great. Let's do a video right here on camera here. This is a video sample testing out the rear camera of the LG G3, an amazing camera. All right, let's play that back. Let's see how it sounds. This is a video sample testing out the rear camera of the LG G3, an amazing camera. So as you can see, the camera, both cameras on here are really nice. They're really sleek. I really like them. I think they perform well. The laser focus on here really helps to take some fast pictures, and it's really great. Moving on to web browser. Web browsing on here is like any other experience with Google Chrome. Now they do have their own web browser into this phone, so I'll go to that next. I haven't opened it yet. because I don't really plan on using it. I'm synced over Google Chrome, like most people are synced over whatever their primary browser is. But browsing on here is, it's perfectly fine. It's just an experience, and that's it. It's none other than Google Chrome. But how about the browser that comes on default with the phone, which is this browser right here from LG. So we go to Google. Let's go to Phone Arena. And we'll open it up. And let's see how it handles this full web page. As you can see, it performs just as well. I mean, when you're dealing with a web browser, you gotta have, when you're dealing with a phone and features, it's best not to get too caught up in the specs of the phone and thinking that the phone is just gonna blow your mind, because that's just not gonna happen. You have to, in so many words, just lower your standards and you'll be blown away by a lot of the things that you see on your mobile device. You think about it, this is a mobile phone. And so it's performing at a very nice rate compared to what it was back in some of the first phones that had come to the surface. So I don't know how many of you remember carrying that big brick from Nokia on your hip with that. It only had one clip, one leather pouch. This is a long way from there. I didn't think cell phones would even come this far. I thought I would still have a pager, but I was wrong. So the web browser on here performs really well. No complaints. Call quality on this device is really clear, and since it's over T-Mobile, I get HD calls, and it's really nice. No drop calls, nothing. I don't have any complaints about the calls. Processing power is always a thing, and how the device performs day to day. This isn't a sluggish device in any kind of way. It flies through the menus, and when I'm doing things, I haven't had any crashes or anything. So the processor, the 801 processor in here, is doing pretty good, to say the least. Day-to-day performance, though, in regular tasks, applications open quickly. I don't see any lag, or I don't see any problems with applications. They all do well, I guess. I don't have a complaint about it. So there's really nothing I can say about it. Some of these applications on other platforms take a long time to open. As you can see on this device, they're opening up pretty fast. And how fast do you want them to open? I don't know. I don't have to have my applications open super fast, but I don't want a 10-second lag. So, that's perfectly fine. Features on here. One feature that this has, you can hold down the back button and you can do a dual screen. So I think that's pretty cool. And then you drag another one down here and you've got two different things going at the same time. This isn't something that's new. This obviously was introduced way back in the day on Samsung products. I don't know if Samsung was the first to actually bring this to the market, and it's really not that important to me, but the fact of the matter is this has dual screen mode in this. You can operate two different things. You can size it down if you want to do more on the browser at the moment, or if that video you're watching is more important, you go down and bring that part up if I can get it to work. Go. And you have more screen for that. But that's a nice feature. This also takes notes. You can do quick memos and all kinds of tasks. It has a remote where I can control my TV. It comes up. I actually programmed my TV. I really wanted to do that. I couldn't find the remote, and I was like, "Oh snap! I got this remote." So that turned out really well. Settings on here. This is still running 4.4.4, I believe. But to me, phones that have overlays, that doesn't really matter to me. It just doesn't matter. If the phone has an overlay, who cares if it's on 4.4 whatever, or if it doesn't get lollipop right at the moment. Because I think what happens when people start demanding software updates, they're just kind of listening to what they see on the internet and say, oh, it's going to make your phone run so great and it's going to do this. I think there are tons of phones out there that run fantastic on 4.4.4 or just 4.4.2 like this one's on. But if it has an overlay, it really doesn't matter, because it's not like the overlay is going to go away after you get the next update. It may make the phone run a little bit smoother. Sometimes they might add some features in, but it's not going to blow you away to where you'll be able to notice unless it's something visual. And that's about where that stops. This phone does well. I'll play a game here in just a second as well. The last thing I want to talk about before I do that gaming is the battery. This is a removable battery, and I actually ordered a second battery. This has a 3,000 milliamp battery, and the battery on here performs well. I don't have any complaints. I've been using it for a while, and the battery performs like a 3,000 milliamp battery. Sorry if you hear some vibrating. I've got tons of phones in here. The estimated hours remaining is 30 plus hours. So this is, and I know that sounds crazy, but it's not, because you look at like the Mate 2 and you look at the G Flex. Those have fantastic batteries. The iPhone 6 Plus, the iPhone 6, and the list goes on and on. You know, the BlackBerry Passport has phenomenal battery. But this one says I can get another 30 hours and 5 minutes with this. And the funny part is that I've been wearing this phone out. I've been using it since the morning, and it only dropped 10%. And I think that's huge. This battery is good. And I bought another one just so I can just throw it in the bag, keep it charged, and you know, have that battery. I can pop it in, because I have the power bank and all these other things. But if you don't want to carry a charger, pop a battery, get a spare battery. An OEM battery was only $10 online, so I think it's a must buy if you have this phone. The battery it lasts all day and into the next day and into the next, but it's nothing wrong with having a spare battery, and having the option to be able to carry a spare battery with a removable back, huge plus. So that's my full review. And how do I rate this phone? Well, I'll tell you after I get this gaming on. See you in a second. Guys, that was my full review, and there was some gaming there at the end for you. If you were wondering how this phone will handle some pretty intense gaming, I think it holds up very well. The LG G3 is by far one of the best devices that has come to the market, to the mobile world. I think it's probably one of those devices that got overlooked, just like I overlooked it. It has a beautiful high-resolution display. I actually have a tempered glass on here. I put a video up on that a while back, or I think a couple days ago or something like that. I don't remember, or the other day. But it's still, this device, I don't know why, something about it just didn't stand out to me when it first launched. And I know one thing was the price. It was $600 or $650, and I thought, man, you know, I just bought this other stuff, and you know, I can't jump out and buy this device as much as I want to. But then the more I started to see it and use and look at it in the stores, I tested it a couple times, I felt like it was worthy, but not at a $599 price. And I don't know how I could say that, because the Nexus 6, I said it was worth $599. This to me is a better fit than the Nexus 6 because of the compact size. It has a 5.5-inch display. It's a lot smaller, it weighs a lot less. It offers some very nice specs. Now, it may not be stock Android, but I could probably root this and put stock Android on it. But you know, that's not really what I'm looking for when I buy an LG device. I like their overlay. It's not a hefty overlay, and it could be considered to be stock. Just looks a little different. But nonetheless, this device is a great contender. If you have an LG G3, how long have you had it, and have you used it daily? What do you like about it? Leave me a note in the comments. I personally have been using this, and I didn't do an unboxing or anything like that because it's not a new device to the market, and I wanted to get right in and started using it. But I did do case and tempered glass video for you, like I said before. But this device is beautiful. I'm glad I picked it up, And I actually got it for a lot less than the $5.99 price, because we all know it's on sale. If you follow me or you're in my community on Google+, I hit the link in the description, and there's a support link there to support my channel, and there's the Google+ and my blog in there as well. But I posted links on there showing that the price went down, and I questioned whether or not I should get it. And a lot of people say, hey, I really liked mine. But you know, some people buy and sell devices and they don't keep multiple devices. Nonetheless, I would definitely rank this device way up at a 10, because some people, a person once pointed out, and I'm not going to say their name, some things that I don't like about a device. They said that I don't mention things that I don't like about a device, and I praise every device. Well, again, this is my view on a device, and I don't buy a device if I don't think it's going to be good. It took me a long time to buy this device for a number of reasons. I didn't like the price. That was the main reason. And now that I have it, I don't like that it's slippery. But other than that, if you get a device and you watch a lot of blogs, and I'm going to put my case back on here. If you are buying a device and your standards are really high, you're probably going to find a lot of things that you don't like about a device. But my standards are realistic, and I don't buy devices. If I see a device and I don't think it's going to be great, I just don't buy it. And then you might hear me talk about it in some videos. But I'm not going to bash it at the same time because I don't own it. But if I'm not interested in a device, I just don't buy it. But this device intrigued me when it first launched, but I just couldn't get over the price. And now that I have an opportunity to get it, the price is right. I don't like that it's slippery on the back, so I bought a nice protective shell, and it has a little bit more grip, and the sides definitely give it grip. And that's about where it stops with this device. I like everything about it. So if you don't see me posting things that I hate about a device, that doesn't mean that I'm not giving you a real review and an objective review. It just means that this device impressed me, and I do post things in reviews that I don't like, but more than likely, you know, I don't want to do a whole bunch of returns. Go back and look at my review of the Sony Xperia Z. You're going to see that I hated that device, and I openly said it in the video. In any event, I give this device a solid 10. I think it's fantastic. I'll see you guys in the next one.